Right, it's Saturday morning. It is -3 degrees. What we're going to do, it snowed yesterday, so we never came here yesterday. I'll just drop a little video in and show you what we did yesterday with the snow. We are at Moortown. It's starting to snow, a bit of sleet as well. It's probably about, what, anybody got a temperature check this morning, John?
I think it's about +2.
About +2 today, so not quite freezing. John put these rods in 2 days ago. If Adam could show you there, we've got a lot of water in the ground. So what we've done, we dug the roads extra deep, we put a lot of concrete in, but the concrete was still quite wet, so we didn't return yesterday. We've fallen back on it today because we can't put the roof on the other job. So what we're going to do, we're going to drag the rest of this muck. We've determined which is the highest point of the ground, which is where John is now. John's going to bring them nuts down. Once he's locked them off, we'll then use the laser over there. You see the laser, Adam? Yeah. We'll then use the laser over there, and then we'll get all the nuts locked off at the right side. So what me and Simon are doing now, we're going to drag the muck back this way because it's low. The ground is lower down here, so we're going to try and get some kind of levelness of ground, and then we're going to put a weed membrane fully round this fully contained area, because obviously it's a bit of a mud bath today, and we're going to try and avoid getting clagged in it all day. Okay, so John is going around with the staff. I've showed you before. We're using the Lexon level over there, laser level. It's a self-leveling level. He's got a laser finder there on the staff, and he's working out his nuts. He'll wind his nuts up or down to suit and lock them off. It's a proper mud bath, is this? So we've bought loads of this weed suppressant membrane. You see that, Adam? We bought loads of that, and we're holding it down with these ground staples. So once we've got all this down, obviously, then the muck will be a thing of the past for us. And what we'll do when we finish this structure, we'll completely fill this bed with some kind of aggregate then as well to tidy it all up. It's snowing, so I think today, depending on how long this stays or what happens to it, we might possibly just get the framework and the base in, but we're going to try and get the insulation and the flooring as well. So that's what we did yesterday anyway with the snow. So we didn't come here, but we're back here today. There's 3 of us in. What we're going to do, we're going to defrost this roof a little bit because there's a layer of ice on top of the 5x2, and what we don't want is to put our boards on top of the 5x2, the ice melt, and then the boards will be floating off the roof. So we're going to get all the ice off. We're actually going to use a heat gun to melt it off as well, because it ain't scraping off like we thought it would. So we'll use the heat gun to melt it off, because obviously we don't want to fit the boards on ring cut nails. They'll be sat floating above the roof, and then the ice will melt, and then they'll just be sat floating. So we'll clear all that off. I'll show you how to board the roof. We're going to use OSB-free roofing boards. We're going to use polyurethane glue. It is the 5-minute glue, but it's never going to set it 5 minutes in this weather. So what we'll do today, we'll get that done. We'll clean it all off. We'll sand it. We'll get it all ready for rubbering, and what we'll do then, we'll protect the roof from the rain and the elements, and then we'll be back on Monday, hopefully, if the weather's good, to get the rubber on. Even though it's going to be cold, I'll show you how we're going to do that, even though it's cold. We're using this OSB-free roofing board. It's a tongue and groove board. It's got a tongue, it's got a groove on it, so it goes together just like the flooring. The manufacturers of the rubber roof either want you to use OSB-free or ply, but we choose to use OSB-free roofing boards. It's 18mm thick. What we're going to do, we're going to fix it down with this Milwaukee First Fix gun. We've opted for this one today because, like I say, it's -3, so the Pazload's going to struggle because the gas freezes. It's a known fault with it, but that's the way it is. We're also using these 63mm ring cut nails. They're not a Pazload brand, they're a Viper brand, a cheaper brand, but they're absolutely the same. They do the same job. We're going to fix it together with this 5-minute polyurethane wood adhesive glue. It's not going to go off in 5 minutes because it's so cold today, but it'll go off in the time we require. What I'm going to do, I'm going to mark it with a Sharpie. I'm going to mark all your joists like that, and then when we put our next board in, we know where the joist is. So what I'll do when I do that one, I'll just look over the top there. I can see where the screws are there, so I know there's an imaginary line there. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 fixings all the way down. I won't fix it there because when that board goes in, if that's fixed down, it can be a bit tight to go in. So when that board is then pushed home, I will then fix it there and fix the next board there. Do the same with them again. So just 3 fixings, don't fix the end, and it'll just give you that bit of room to play with. I'm going to cut it with this Makita DSS611 circular saw. All my gear's Makita, so we're kind of lumbered with that because we've got all them Makita batteries. And we're going to push it together with a block of wood and a hammer. You want some of your wood that's got a square edge. If you use a CLS, it's got a round edge and you can't get as good a purchase. What you want to do is just sit it on top of the tongue, not on the tongue because it'll smash the tongue, but on top of the tongue, and that'll drive the boards home. So what we're going to do, we're going to put this board down. I put a couple of nails in it. There's one there, and there's one here. They're just temporary in case. What I want to make sure this lines straight through, and when I know that second board's lined straight through, then the rest of the floor is going to fall on nice. Then I'll drive them home. I'll nail this, I'll nail that, and it's just like a laminate flooring. So what you're going to do, your off-cut from over there will then become your first piece over there, and vice versa, and just keep working along until you've boarded the full roof. So the first board's temporarily fixed. I put the second board here. There's the joint. I've just dry fit it for the moment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a third board. I'm going to push that home like that. Then that board there is dead in line with that board. So what I'll do now, I'll just put a couple of temporary nails in there, and I'll explain why in a minute. So there we go. So that board's straight. That board's fixed tight to there as we can. So that one's straight. So we know now, I don't know if you can see, that joint's good, but that joint there is running out. So we know that board is like that. So what we want is that joint there to be parallel all the way along, and then we know our first row is right. So what I'll do now, I'll just slide this one back out. I'm going to put some glue on there now. Like I say, it's -3, I think it was, with a high of 0 degrees today, so this glue won't go off. What I've done with this glue and all last night, I brought it in the house because we've been leaving it in the van, and it's going really, not hard, but just harder to squeeze out the tube. So there we go. Now what I've got now, that's parallel. So I know that's good now. So what I'm going to do now, send a nail temporarily in there. Well, no, actually permanently, because I'm happy with that joint. So I know them two boards are good and they're straight. So what I'll do then, remove them nails like that. Get rid of that board. So what I've done now, I've created a dead straight line with my first board. All your rest of your boards then will go in nice and easy. So I've got a rip over there. I'll measure that. I'll cut that. My off-cut then will go over there, and I'll just keep going all the way till I'm right over there at the other side of the roof. So there you can see 5-minute glue, obviously because it's so cold today. It ain't gone off, and it's been maybe 40 minutes since that board was laid. I won't put my finger in it because that's crazy. But see that it's starting to tack off a little bit. So there you go, it's practically finished now. We're just waiting for the glue to go off. Put his last piece in over there, and then we're going to protect it then till Monday. Don't know if it's supposed to rain Monday or not, but what we're going to do, we'll protect it. We've got some milder weather next week, so we'll probably wait until next week to get the rubber on it now. I had a guy there, he messaged me and says I don't look after my staff, there's no facilities for them to go to the toilet, this, that and the other. So just for you, there you go. I provide a toilet on every single job. It's there from the start to the finish. Right, so what we're going to do now, I don't know if you can see there, Michael's stretching out some visqueen. We're going to put 2 layers over it because guaranteed there'll be a hole in the visqueen somewhere and we don't want the roof to get wet. So we're going to put 2 layers over. What he's going to do is going to stretch it out, put the 2 layers together and then bring it in, and we're going to drop it over the roof. The reason why we're going to do that is because, as I say, it's really cold and this glue's not going to go off for a good hour or so yet, and we want to go home. Right, so they've obviously battened it at the back there. They're pulling it tight over the roof. You can see we've got 2 layers on there. What we're going to do now is fix these slate battens, which will then stop any wind from ripping the plastic off over the weekend, and which hopefully will keep the roof nice and dry. So what you want to do is just tack your battens on. Don't sink your nail all the way home, and then you can still get it out come Monday. Right, that's us done for today. So we've got the roof on. It's OSB-free roofing bars. We've glued it with polyurethane glue. We've fixed it down with 63mm ring cut nails, and we've used the Milwaukee First Fix nail gun. He's never missed a beat today. So obviously with the cold weather, that's why I'm not bothered with the PAS loads, because they will freeze up. The gas will freeze up rather. So that's the roof done. It's protected from the elements. So hopefully now next week, the weather's supposed to get a bit better. We're supposed to have 6 and 7 degrees, which will be ideal for fitting the roof. So we'll get the roof rubbered, fascia and soffit next week. And then we're cracking on with inside as well. And next week, I'm going to jump on and show you the first fix electrical. So all you Sparkies out there, get ready to get at me, because you're not going to like what you're going to see, but it falls within the regs. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.